Hey everybody, Cahlen here, and today I want to talk to you about survival gear durability. So I'm trying to live outside. I intend to try and basically live outside this upcoming winter, basically just with the camping gear stuff that I can keep in my backpack. And I have been doing kind of similar things for a long time, and I've tried out lots of gear. And one of the main things that I've learned is that you really need to be thinking about getting gear which is not just good, but also is going to stay usable for a long time. Because first of all, it costs money to get a replacement, and also you may not always be able to get a replacement even if you have money, especially if you're trying to learn how to survive in a not so ideal society. Where you don't have everything that we're all so very used to. So anyways, you want to have gear which lasts. And so this is just an example. I have been using this little sleeping pad. It's the X-Pad. I highly recommend this pad. It is inflatable, and which means that it can get little holes in it. Now that's actually very easy to fix if you can find the hole. And if you can have a house you can return it to with a bathtub or something, or some deep standing water, then you can find where the hole is and easily fix it. It even comes with a little patch kit for you to do that with. But you may not have access to a bathtub. You may not have access to deep water. It may be too cold for there to be water. There may be no lakes nearby. So if you get a hole in your sleeping pad and it's freezing cold in the winter, then you may be screwed. So you're basically back to sleeping on the bare ground again. You're gonna have to figure something out. So I'm thinking this is like a over $200 solution, and again, it is really good if you're if it's basically it's the most comfortable thing I've probably ever slept on, including all the beds I've slept on. So this thing's really good. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get one of those old Thermarest, or I think they're called Ridgeways. It's just it's a mat that rolls up on itself, and I've had one of those in the past. They're like, again, $25, $35, and they last forever, and they take a beating. The issue with it is I did go through a night where I was sleeping on the snow, and I was a little bit cold through it. But I think what I'm going to do, and also it'll work with my sleeping underneath my poncho or my rain jacket. You kind of need to take up a little bit smaller space to avoid rain, especially when it's windy. So I'm already thinking about compressing things. So what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to get the full length Ridgeway, I think, and cut it in half and basically keep both halves, and so it can be laid out when it's warmer, but when it gets cold or when it's wet and I need to compress myself, I can put them on top of each other. I'll get double the insulation that way. It'll also be more comfortable, and I'll just roll up kind of fetal position, sleeping on my side, which also help me stay warm because I'm all huddled up, and my swing bag will be able to cover larger portions with more air blockages, so there's more insulation. So anyways, that's my thoughts on what I'm going to do about the sleeping thing. But it's just an example, like when you get gear, this is something I should have thought of, and I just wanted to try this, and I've actually gone through two of these at this point because they're so nice. But ultimately, the niceness and the lightness and the compactness of this will not be worth it if I freeze to death. So I'm going to go with what I think is more practical. Plus, these foam mats will be really useful. But anyways, I just recommend when you're planning on what gear to get, be thinking about these kinds of things. Can I brush up against trees? And some things the answer is going to be no. And if the answer is no, you need to protect this. Like this is my wool outer layer, thick wool, fairly expensive, very important to me staying alive. But I shouldn't be wearing this as an outer thing when I'm going to be brushing up or doing any kind of abrasive activity or things with pokey objects around, because this can get all torn up. But I do have another layer of insulation I can wear over it, which can take a beating. So anyways, so get stuff that's going to last and take care of it. And also it's important to have ways to fix things. So like I accidentally left this when I left for a week out drying on a rack, and the wind when I was gone blew it away. So this is the poncho, or the thing I sleep under. and it got a couple holes in it probably by brushing up against cactus or something, you know, in the wind. And so I have something called tenacious tape. I made a video on that, and it patches it right up because new, even, you know, it's water sealed and all that type of stuff. So it's good to have things that you need to repair your gear as well, so that you feel confident that if something happens, you're going to be okay still. And also sewing kits, another good thing to have for clothes. Having a small amount of duct tape for other things, of course, is also useful. So anyways, try and make things last. You may not be able to get any more. I say when you do go for something, get the expensive thing, unless, like in this case with the Ridgeway, the thing that I really should be getting is super cheap. Then of course you should get the super cheap thing and just be glad that it also happens to be super cheap. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, I hope you'll share it with someone that you care about. It helps them, it helps me, and it'll help you feel like a healthy type of person. If you're feeling extra generous, you can head on over to cahlen.org/gift, and there you can basically learn of ways to help me feed myself, shelter myself, and to upgrade and repair my gear. All donations give you the option of having a 1-hour life coaching call with me. So, thanks again for watching.